What is up, everybody? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture. Happy Sunday. This week flew by. Well, last week flew by. This month is flying by. Bitcoin seems to be flying by. I mean, from a timeline perspective, Bitcoin has surprised me, at least at the pace that it has moved. That's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I want to talk about the bull market doors, the doorway to the bull market. I've been talking about that a lot. I want to talk about that today. I want to look at the charts. I want to talk about the possibilities. Bitcoin is looking extremely bullish. And I want to say Litecoin's looking bullish too, everybody. I just want to throw that out there. Litecoin is looking bullish. Even amidst all the FUD lately, all the negativity lately. And it just goes to show, it literally makes no difference, does it? Even when there's negativity, actually, it seems to create most opportunity. And that's what's most interesting about the space. That's what's awesome about the space. So if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. We're getting ready to enter a whole new cycle. I think things are going to get really fun. And I would love to have you as part of the channel. If you're just getting here, smash that like button as we get this started. We have some really, really cool things to talk about in terms of the bullishness of these markets right now, because we just went through, it feels like we just went through, we're already halfway through 2019, right? But it feels like we just went through that bear market, and we're finally entering maybe that stage where we can enjoy some more consistent gains. Not these little, 40% pumps and then right back down and lower lows in a bear market. But I'm talking about consistent bull market gains. And is the bull market here? That's the question. I mean, that's what we want to talk about. So let's jump in. Let's talk about this. I want to kind of just show you the charts, right? We can start. Actually, I think I want to actually start over here. I want to start over here with Twitter, because I just tweeted not long ago. I said I think we're weeks away from Bitcoin breaking the $13,000 to $16,000 range, the doors to the bull market. I want to throw this out there, everybody. I know that, I think especially people that just kind of cruise through my channel every once in a while, they don't watch regularly. I think a lot of people, if they catch me talking about dips, which I do often on this channel, I think they just kind of mark me as kind of a bearish type of crypto YouTuber. I am the furthest thing away from bearish. There are many times where I'm short-term bearish and I'm anticipating a quick dip, right? We're talking 20%, 30%, 40% dip, which Bitcoin just had it, by the way. This right here, these moves, 1, 2, that's why I do my bearish videos. That's why I do those videos talking about bearish scenarios, because I want to be here. I want to be ready to take action in those scenarios. But I'm not bearish, everybody. And that's especially illustrated on this long-term chart. Actually, that's not it. Here's the long-term chart. The link is in the description. Cycles of Bitcoin. We're talking, I did this in December 2018. $100,000 Bitcoin in 2021 could happen sooner, but that's my speculative outlook. So I'm not bearish ever. I'm bullish. Sometimes I'm short-term bearish, looking for a retracement. Just want to throw that out there. I guess, so the other thing is this. Hash rate. It's awesome to see, and we can actually just go to, just because I think this chart just looks awesome. Look at hash rate for Bitcoin. Look at the growth of work. Just real quick, take that, right? When you go to a 2-year, you can kind of get a better idea. If you just take this data of this growth and you pair it with how early we all are in these markets, how early we all are, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of the growth of the network, the growth of security for Bitcoin. And when you pair that with every 4 years our halving that we get for Bitcoin, it's so powerful, everybody. So I'm trying to underline and highlight this video by just throwing out bullish points. This is a very speculative, risky game. I'm not gonna lie about that. It is, right? We could all lose our money in crypto somehow. It could happen. We could all lose our money if you're invested in Bitcoin or other cryptos. But long term, there are so many reasons why I'm bullish. Bitcoin halving, supply, the circulating supply. I mean, we're already 85% there. It's unbelievable. Supply shock when the world enters these markets at a higher level is going to be insane. And so, therefore, I am extremely bullish. Now, if we're talking about what I put in the description, Bitcoin cycle speeding up, is very simple. And I'll start it here, right? This chart, and I actually have these Litecoin halvings noted because it really just helps, I think, illustrate, if you're looking at these charts, it really helps illustrate what's going on, I think, from a timeline perspective. Because the bear market of 2013 into 2015 really falls in line with what we just experienced, right? Namely, going into the Litecoin halving and also slightly before the last Bitcoin halving. And this is what I'm talking about, right? That last bear market that we had all the way back then, it went right into the Litecoin halving. Boom, there's the line of the Litecoin halving. Similarly, this previous bear market that we had, it fell right in line with the Litecoin halving again. Now, the speed and the momentum of Bitcoin is illustrated on these charts because of this. In that last bear market, Bitcoin really kind of waited until the Litecoin halving to really make any moves out of the bear market, right? This time around, Bitcoin really just, before the Litecoin halving, broke up way quicker. And it's very much illustrated on the RSI as well, right? So here is this period of kind of trying to find strength out of a bear market, right? And work its way out of the bear market. And you can just see on the RSI, this momentum oscillator, it took a little bit of time. Now, this time around, Bitcoin just went crazy, right? And you see it from a momentum perspective, straight up. Didn't take that much time to test in this red area. And that red area on the momentum oscillator illustrated here is this area on the charts. And this is, again, playing into the speed at which Bitcoin is moving, everybody. And it's extremely powerful how quick it's moving. And this area that I'm talking about is this long-term Fibonacci retracement. This is the doorway to the bull market. I'm going to keep talking about it in my videos. I don't care, if some of you are sick of hearing about it, this is it. Like, this is a very critical stage of the cycles of Bitcoin, and we are there. We have the bull market high in 2013, bear markets low, illustrated here. This was the doorway, this red rectangle, the Fibonacci retracement, a long-term critical technical resistance area. This was the doorway to that bull market, right? And look what happened when it was not only tested right here, June 2016, but then broken. Bitcoin went crazy. Now, testing that area, Bitcoin, it took from the Litecoin halving to the Bitcoin halving to test it back then, 315 days. This time around, check it out. That 315-day area would be here, right? And in this scenario, it's around 270, 280 days, Litecoin halving, Bitcoin halving. Well, Bitcoin already tested this key Fibonacci area in terms of the bull market doors, right? That is it. That is the bull market doors, and it's already been tested. It got tested weeks before the Litecoin halving. Bitcoin, you just look at the charts, has been moving crazy fast. So the question is this: when will that be broken? So you look at how long it took Bitcoin to break this Fibonacci retracement. I'll zoom in just so you can see it a little better. This Fibonacci retracement back then, you see we got a huge consolidation after we hit it, resistance, right? We're talking this wick down 40%, but weekly closes, we can say 28, 30%. That sound familiar? And then it just took weeks. This is the weekly chart. It took weeks to get back into that area to test. But we already know Bitcoin has moved so quick to even test this type of Fibonacci retracement this time around. Look how quick Bitcoin tested it. And similarly, we already had our consolidation from that swing high test to a weekly close low, 30%. Sound familiar? We just looked at it. And Bitcoin is doing all of these things way quicker than it did in the last bear market. So all in all, Bitcoin just moving quicker. If we go to the daily chart, we can see what's going on from more of a pattern perspective, more of like what is possible in the days ahead. And so this plays kind of into why I said I think we're weeks away from Bitcoin breaking $13,000 to $16,000 range, the doors to the bull market. Number one, I said that because Bitcoin's moving quicker. I just illustrated that for you on the weekly chart. Number two, here we are on the daily chart. And if we look at a breakout target of this current pattern, this falling wedge that we have here, we have a target of around 16,200. I think I put 16,002 in my thumbnail. I don't remember. But that's our target, a breakout target to the upside. Want to throw this out there, especially if you're like new watching these videos and you're extremely bullish and you're looking for all these bullish videos. This is I don't want to say bearish part of me talking, but this is the realist part of me talking, the conservative part of me talking, which is just the same that we have a breakout to the upside. Guess what? We have a breakout target to the downside of this wedge as well, everybody. So always a possibility. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't want that to happen. That would mean this is going to be a longer term move before we even break this Fibonacci retracement, before we even officially enter the bull market. That would really stall things. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's in play. Please be careful with your money and don't listen to YouTubers in terms of how to invest or when to invest or what to invest and all those things. This is just data that I'm throwing out there for you. So when we're really talking about a bullish move for Bitcoin, though, we're talking about a breakout to the upper end of this Fibonacci or of this upper trend line into the Fibonacci retracement area, this long-term resistance. That is the doorway to the bull market. What's awesome about Fibonacci, we just saw it on the weekly, right? Here's Fibonacci on the weekly. It's a Fibonacci retracement. You're taking a data point from a swing high to a swing low or vice versa. And you're basically saying, you can play this out however you want. Our data points we use on Fibonacci retracement is the 786 to 618 channel, this green channel. In other words, that is to say 61.8% to 78.6% back to the swing high. That in crypto markets, from my analysis, from my research, from looking at the charts myself, and from reading and studying, crypto is way more volatile, right? So instead of using a 0.236 where it's just it's not as wide of a range, not as volatile, not as crazy in price moves, you're using way more volatile retracement areas, right? So that's all this is. This isn't anything crazy. I know especially if you're new to the charts, this looks ridiculous. What is Fibonacci? That just sounds too smart. When I first got into charting and I started studying Fibonacci, I didn't even really care much for it because it's just, I'm not a math dude, right? So seeing all these numbers, I just don't have time for it. First of all, that's not me. But I promise you it's very simple in terms of Fibonacci retracement and what it is. This is the study of the flow of numbers, right? And you see these things. It's a flow in the general scheme of things. You see it in music. You see it in art. You see it when you look around. There's a general flow to things. And it's exactly what you see on Bitcoin charts when you zoom out. It's a flow of things. They're as volatile and crazy as crypto is. There is a flow to this, everybody. There is. And so this Fibonacci retracement, that's long-term Fibonacci retracement. What I love about it is you can zoom into the daily and you can use Fibonacci retracement again because, again, there's flow. To get long-term flow, you're going to swing high to swing low. See the retracement right back to the 786, 618 area. Resistance, right? And long-term, this is kind of what we're looking at. If you just even take this very simple daily chart, right? Pretend this is the top of the bull market, 2017. Here's the bottom of the bear market, right? What we're doing is this right here is where we are. We're at these doorways to the bull market. And the question is Bitcoin going to break above it, right? And you see how this plays out in the daily charts. It's awesome, the synergy we have in the charts. So if we get rid of that Fibonacci retracement, we pull up another one. We can pull up this previous swing low that we had to this quick swing high happened within 4 days or so. And you see where Bitcoin found support, not resistance, support, right at the 786 line down here, right there. And I'll move it over for you so you can see. We saw support, and that was very, very important for us because we wanted support there so that we can at least have a shot to break back up to the 50 moving average on the daily chart. This blue line, Bitcoin did, right? Bitcoin kind of defied what we were worried about, which is breaking below the bottom trend line of this falling wedge. We bounced off the Fibonacci retracements. We went to the 50 moving average. I think I did a technical analysis video there. We talked about, are we going to see resistance and then further downside? Well, that didn't happen. We broke above the 50 moving average. We hit a new lower high, right, to really confirm this wedge, this falling wedge we have here now. And now from there, we're right above the 50 moving average, like right above it, a few $100s away. That can happen in a minute. That we could be trading at that level, potentially breaking. That's probably my shortest term my shortest term support area that I want to see if it holds. Just talking about the downside real quick, I want to just throw this out there. If we're looking for support below the 50 moving average, we would take our swing low, Fibonacci again, to swing high, and we say, all right, where is our 786 to 618 channel? And here it is, 10,300, 9,800. So we could have a potential another little dip below the 50 moving average, and then what we want to see in that scenario, and you would see this evident on a 4-hour chart, is potentially another mini falling wedge for us to get momentum to break out of this larger falling wedge, right? And you see that a lot on these charts, especially if you see a crypto grappling with this 50 moving average. You might see it fall below the 50 moving average a few times before breaking out of the midterm to long-term bullish pattern. So either way, our bullish pattern target out of the upside is $6,200 or 16,200 or so. And that would really, truly confirm the bull market for me. That's for me. Many people are already 100% convinced and just feeling the bull market, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm just not so quick to do so, but I think we're definitely getting close, especially at the way Bitcoin is moving. The reason, and just if you're new here, the reason that I'm not, it's not that I'm not convinced, it's more that I have my certain scenarios that I want to see happen before I start talking about bull market. Bull markets, for even the most professional of analysts, is very difficult to define because everybody has different opinions. But a bull market is a sustainable uptrend for months, for years. And, we just made a quick move out of the bear market. So it's, I think, even more bullish if we say that we're not even in the bull market yet. To say that we're not even in a bull market yet and we've had such crazy gains out of this bear market low, I think is even more bullish. It has even more bullish tone to it. So here it is on the 4-hour. The other thing I do want to I want to throw out there on the 4-hour chart, we talked about the Fibonacci area, right? That we potentially could see retracement to below the 50 moving average. And I want to chart that again just to get price points real quick. Support 10,300 down to 9,700. So playing right into that, right? I should say right above that is the upper trend line of this wedge. So this is an area that we might want to see support, and it's right at that 618 line on the daily chart. It's pretty much around 10,300. So if we get a dip down to that area and a bounce off of that, that would be extremely bullish. We always talk about revisiting upper trend lines when we're breaking out of a pattern. So that's something to look at on the 4-hour chart, right? So I just wanted to throw that out there. If we go over to Twitter and look at Litecoin, we can start talking about Litecoin. Litecoin weekly candle might actually close high enough to keep inverse head and shoulders in play on the LTC BTC pair. It wasn't looking good in yesterday's live stream. So I did a live stream the other day, and I'm telling you, this was very surprising that this is happening. The other day, Litecoin on the weekly chart, the weekly candle was, I mean, we were literally, I think when I was doing the video, like down here, right? And if you look at that line, that's pretty much below the weekly close of the head of these candles that make up the head in this potential inverse head and shoulders. I talked about before, the neckline on this isn't perfect, right? I get that. This isn't the most beautiful of inverse head and shoulders, but in my opinion, it is 100% in play as an inverse head and shoulders. We have this left shoulder with this weekly close slightly higher than the head, right? Weekly close makes the head. And then now this inverse head and shoulders on the BTC LTC pair, I thought was going to just fail. I really did not think Litecoin was going to make a move so quick, because this candle, I believe, should be closing today. And you can see Litecoin on the LTC BTC pair back above where it needs to be to potentially get a right shoulder in play, right? So I don't know what will happen in this next candle, this next weekly candle. I don't know if we're going to see further downside, right? And if we do, then this will be broken. This entire area will be broken. We'll have a lower low from this previous low that makes up the potential head of this inverse head and shoulders. Otherwise, maybe we get some uptrend in terms of Litecoin. And then maybe we really start seeing something crazy happen in terms of, and I'm talking going into the end of 2019. This is a weekly chart. This could take patience. I don't foresee Litecoin just putting in like two huge weekly candles here and we're forming a right shoulder. This would take weeks and months. But something to watch on Bitcoin and Litecoin pair. I will say this. It's risky business if you're trading this LTC BTC pair. You might be a very high risk taker and you say, you know what, Litecoin's going to put in work. Litecoin's going to make some gains against Bitcoin. I'm telling you, Dan, I'm trading BTC for LTC at the bottom here. This is a beautiful swing low. I agree with you. It is a beautiful swing low. Even on the weekly RSI, you see the momentum oscillator here, not in the oversold area, but very close. It's in the oversold area on the stock RSI, this quicker moving momentum oscillator. Historically, it hasn't been a terrible place to accumulate. However, that's just risky business. I'm keen on accumulating Bitcoin and Litecoin, but I never want to make a wrong trade in terms of doing so. I'm always more comfortable just putting more fiat into Bitcoin and into Litecoin as I feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable making trades like this. And I know others do, and I completely get why others might be doing that. I know there's also some people that are looking at Litecoin and they're saying, hey, Litecoin, Altcoin Daily just did a video on this the other day, basically saying, yo, the Litecoin halving back here happened and Litecoin on the LTC BTC pair just tanked for 2 years after that, right? And many people are thinking the same thing's going to happen. So they're getting out of LTC and putting into BTC. I don't hold that against them at all. I really don't. We know that I'm bullish on Litecoin. But if somebody's trading against, getting out of Litecoin to go into Bitcoin, I don't hold that against them at all. I don't know. I don't remember if Altcoin Daily is a fan of Litecoin or not, but I saw that video and I 100% from a technical perspective get why somebody would do that. I have trouble doing that. I'm not messing around with my Bitcoin holdings. I'm not messing around with my Litecoin holdings. If Litecoin retraces, continues down, right, from this point, right, we don't put in a right shoulder. He did LTC for BTC back then. But that's just not my approach. I know it can happen, but Litecoin from this point on, the halving happened. The supply of Litecoin slowing down, circulating supply slowing down, coming into circulation, and Litecoin behind Bitcoin, just my number 2 cryptocurrency. So I'm long on Litecoin. Going over to the Litecoin USD charts, you check it out. This is the biggest thing I want to point out right now. So from that swing high from close to 150, Litecoin, you see kind of fell into this. It's way more evident on the 4-hour chart, but into just this, we have these higher lows, lower highs, right? And we broke down through the symmetrical triangle very quickly. and Litecoin saw like a ton of losses. And we had a very strong sense. We started talking about it a lot. I believe July 4th, right? And that was July 4th was trading at like 120. We had a strong sense going into the halving we're going to get a huge dip, and we got it, right? So breaking out of that, we got 35% or so dip into a new symmetrical triangle. Now, this could potentially spell continuation to the downside for Litecoin. We've talked about that, tracking this symmetrical triangle. That's what you see on symmetrical triangles. Very, very often is a continuation pattern, right? This would be continuation down. However, there are times where it is a reversal pattern. So we have that hope in play on the USD pair from solely a pattern perspective. But I do want to say this. If you look at the last halving, when we did bottom out in the last halving, where did Litecoin bottom out at on the daily chart? The 200 moving average, right? Now, and it did so right around the halving, like right around that week. So on a USD pair, obviously it traded sideways with some upside volatility, but on the USD pair, we pretty much bottomed out here, right? As opposed to the BTC pair, it wasn't looking too good for Litecoin at this time. Now, where did we currently kind of bottom out at, right? Around the halving again, the 200 moving average on the daily. So putting patterns aside, this is a very big indicator, I think. This is something we really want to see hold if you're long on Litecoin. And if you've been accumulating even recently, this is a very big area you want to hold. I've accumulated a lot of Litecoin, right? Over the course of the bear market, the bottom of the bear market. Same with Bitcoin. I feel very grateful for that. I know a lot of you have accumulated Bitcoin and Litecoin in the bottom of the bear market. So I'm extremely comfortable with my position. And that's why I'm a little more patient to say, all right, listen, Litecoin, and especially if you go to the weekly chart here, Litecoin does have potential for continuation to the downside out of this symmetrical triangle. And that would really bring us to the 60s. I'm comfortable to be like, that's a possibility. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. Actually, I really don't know. I'm 50-50 torn. I have zero idea if that's going to happen again. Again, this isn't about predicting. This is about being prepared for scenarios. And I am prepared because I'm accumulated, I'm comfortable, I'm ready for a bull market if it ensues. And I'm in the mindset of I'm patient. Like if we do visit that 50-week moving average, which is what Litecoin did in that last halving, right? The 50-week moving average is where it retraced to. $2.70, by the way. If we do visit that, I'm going to be buying a lot of Litecoin. But there's a strong possibility it doesn't happen, right? And we go up from here, or sideways from here and then up. This is, 70s, 60s. That's just my next heavy buy zone. We've already had a dip, right? And I'm just chilling out right now. I'm fine right now with Bitcoin and Litecoin. So Litecoin I want to go back to the daily chart and really talk about the pattern that we have here because it is important. If you look at this daily pattern, this symmetrical triangle, if I can zoom in here, you see Litecoin doing what we want to see it do. And interestingly enough, we just covered Bitcoin. You have Litecoin testing, really two interesting areas. Number one, the 200 moving average, right? On the daily chart. Very important to stay above that. But squeezing right below this symmetrical triangle lower trend line. We had a breakout to the bottom of it. Now we're breaking back to the lower trend line and right now pretty much above it. When we were tracking this symmetrical triangle, we talked about the possibilities of Litecoin not only just breaking below it, right? Meaning we put in a new lower low outside of this mid triangle low, but we actually break the trend line, right? We break out of it, but we see support. What if we see support at the 200 moving average? This could spell a false breakout, and those are extremely bullish things to happen, whether Bitcoin, whether Litecoin. False breakouts, meaning this would be a busted symmetrical triangle if Litecoin breaks through the lower trend line, breaks back up through the apex and out of the top of the triangle. Number one, we would still have a bullish target, which is the length, the height of the triangle itself, right? So we're back in the hundreds if that happens, first of all. But secondly, I think in terms of questioning if Litecoin had bottomed, that would be our answer, right? Especially because we've touched a 200 moving average on the daily chart twice, going right in around the halving. Because as we just saw on the daily chart, right, if we zoom out on the charts real quick, you see Litecoin, pretty much what it did back in 2015. 1-2 touches right around that 200 moving average. And then it continued touching, weeks later. But it was a very key area for Litecoin to see support here. So similarly, we'd really be looking for exactly the same type of scenario. And yes, this pattern on the daily chart, the symmetrical triangle, plays into that. And we'll see how the story plays out. But right now, that's what we're looking at. We revisited the lower trend line. Let's see if we can break through this. Let's see how strong Litecoin is. One thing is true. If you're really looking at, and here it is on the 4-hour, by the way, everybody. And actually, before I talk about Bitcoin, I do want to just throw this out there. Fibonacci retracement swing high back in August 5th, right around a week ago, to swing low that we just had. Fibonacci retracement. So here's our triangle. We're retesting the lower trend line. It's bullish looking to do that. But it's also what you want to see and conservatively wait for if we're getting the breakout to the bottom. Meaning we have the breakout, we want to revisit the trend line, and then we get continuation back down. That's in play too. But on the short-term upside, what we're looking for is around $101 down to $97 Fibonacci retracement resistance. If Litecoin breaks above that channel, that is the most bullish thing you could see on the 4-hour chart. And from a price range perspective, just so you have it, that would be Litecoin around 11-12% to the upside. So scenario like that, depending on what Bitcoin's doing, could bring Litecoin into a green weekly candle to potentially set up for the beginning of this right shoulder on this inverse head and shoulders on the LTC BTC pair. So that's pretty much what we're looking at. Interestingly enough, Litecoin testing this very critical trend line here, this lower trend line, trying to make a break to the upside at the same time that Bitcoin, if we zoom in on the charts here on this extremely messy chart that I can't read because it's so messy. At the same time, Litecoin's breaking through that lower trend line, Bitcoin testing the 50 moving average on the daily chart. So important right now for Bitcoin to stay above that if we want to see continued gains. And we're talking that's nothing. There's not even 3% to the downside. Literally a few $100s can happen in seconds. So $16.2 thousand. Who says that? $16.2 thousand. $16,200. There it is. There's the targets. I don't know. It's nice to see us trading at the top of this long-term or mid-range falling wedge. I would love to see continuation. I would love to see even more consolidation above the 50 moving average. Squeezing into this upper trend line is fine. Because from a momentum oscillator perspective, that helps us out too in terms of just staying out of that overbought area, letting the stock RSI momentum area. Everybody, that is the doorway to the bull market right there. So those are my thoughts. That was a 30-minute technical analysis. God bless you if you watched the whole video. You're awesome. I appreciate you. But wanted to lay it down on this beautiful Sunday. I hope you're having an amazing Sunday. How are you all doing anyway? I would love to know. How's everybody doing in the chats? I haven't really been talking with you in the chats. But I appreciate all of you being here. Wendell, if you're here right now, you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. Please, can I beg you for a subscribe? I'm well. Thanks for asking. Clint Westwood, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. Target, folks. Matty G says target. Well, we have a bullish target. You see it on the screen. Bullish target. 16,200, everybody. That's the bullish target out of this falling wedge. Pretty sure I'm not the only one talking about it. And then Litecoin, our target, at least, I think if I had to put a target for Litecoin to the upside again, I'm not really talking about targets to the downside, it would be this Fibonacci retracement. I'm really curious to see, because even when we get bullish moves, like right here from this swing low, you always have to remember this. Bitcoin and Litecoin, same exact thing. We get bullish moves, people get hyped 21% to the upside, but really all that's happening is a setup for a lower low. So, a lower high. So resistance here, if Litecoin makes a move there, can be just setting us up for further downside. So you always want to see resistance areas broken. You always want to see previous lower lows broken. So really, bullishly, we want to be above the 108, 110 area. So that could take some time. We'll see what happens. But like I said, truly appreciate everybody being here. Happy Sunday to Joe. Comet, what's up? Crypto Nana, what's up? Arise Chicken, what's going on? I have a call coming in. Sorry about that. I know I saw some super chats. I don't know. Do I have to scroll up to see super chats? I can't even. If I missed your super chat and you're still here, I apologize. I saw them coming through and I meant to get to them and I was just going crazy. Anthony M. Orchid Smith. Orchid. Me and my wife Sarah, we love orchids, by the way. So I love your screen name. We have a bright pink and a bright blue orchid upstairs in our kitchen. Says, it's great to be here with you, Dan. Thank you for coming by. Everybody, all I can say is, how bullish are you for Litecoin? How bullish are you for Litecoin? All this negativity in the last week, and Litecoin's still looking okay. Still looking strong. Everything. I mean, Litecoin's down like 40% from its previous swing high in June. Ethereum, same thing. Cardano, same thing. XRP, same thing. Has nothing to do with Litecoin. Litecoin's not weak. Bitcoin down like 18% since that swing high. It's just the way the markets move. So if you're out there, everybody, if you're new, please continue to do your due diligence. I think it's probably one of the best things you can do. The second best thing you can do, don't listen to YouTubers like me on YouTube. Just, hey, take the data that I'm giving you and others are giving you, but don't listen to YouTubers for financial advice. Make your own decisions. I'm telling you, you take extreme contrast analysis, you take the worst case scenario, you take the best case scenario, put yourself in the middle and say to yourself, what could I do right now that is the most comfortable for me? Especially long-term, if you're long-term in these markets. What could you do right now to minimize your risk as much as possible, where you feel comfortable, you're not spending more money than you can afford to lose? Learn to read the charts if you're interested in that type of thing, but be extremely careful in these volatile markets. It's extremely speculative. Cryptocurrency is crazy risky, everybody, especially if you're trying to trade on the short term, especially if you're trying to trade these charts on the short term. So be careful out there, especially if you're new, if you've been around a while, if you've endured the bear market, like we have on this YouTube channel. We started at the very beginning of the bear market. Then, you might have a little bit more wisdom in terms of trying to trade these crazy markets. But that's it. I hope you all have an amazing Sunday. It's beautiful out here. Looking forward to getting out there. I hope you have a great rest of your weekends. We'll be tracking this. If you're on Twitter, follow me, Crypto Capital Venture, Crypto Recruiter. I try and post updates if I'm not doing videos, but I really appreciate you coming by. Again, if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. It'll be fun to grow into this bull market as we knock down these doors to the bull market. We're getting there. Patience, everybody. Hope you have a great Sunday. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.